It is Thursday, June 2nd, at least here in America. Okay. We are talking about one of the greatest games on the planet. We are talking about none other than Big Brother. And this is Big Brother Australia. All right. This is Jury Duty. Let's get into it. All right. I am your boy, KP, Kyle Petting, and I am joined by the very, very handsome John Dunphy. Missing tonight, Gina Morgino. She's got better things to do. That's all right. She'll be joining us for BB24 at some point.
Yes.
You can find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty. Now that we got all that out of the way. Mad stuff went down this week.
Oh,
okay.
This week was such a roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have mixed feelings on this double eviction cycle thing. Like, I think it's exciting. I think it's very fun. But that first eviction feels like forever ago.
I'm so glad you said that, because I sat down to watch the last episode of the week and was like, wait a minute, who went home last time?
Like, yeah, what is even going on?
Yeah, like I remembered right away then, but I was like, it took a minute because like so much is happening.
Yeah. So where do we even start here? I guess the first part. Oh shoot. See, and I didn't even finish that. Yikes. I think the first place to start is with Brenton and Jules.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah. See, that even feels like forever ago. At this point, they feel so cemented in the house. It's like they had always been there. Yes. And I told you, I said this about Big Brother Australia. I told you they add people, but then immediately you don't mind.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you're over it really fast. They really settle in quick. And then like, that's it.
I was saying I was not in favor of this last week, but I've already really come around to it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why it did not affect anything at all. It's really the way they split up, especially just one on each side. I feel like it didn't.
Jules gave me one of my favorite moments of the week this week. So.
Did she?
Yeah.
What was it later? Are we not getting to that now?
I don't know. Well, so we're just still introducing them into the house, right?
We are still introducing. We should at least go in order. Yeah. So they come into the house, and Brenton comes in with this strategy of acting like he doesn't know what's going on. What did you think of this?
I think it's kind of a necessity for him. Like he's the fresh meat that just got thrown in. Everybody else has relationships in there except for him, and he's coming in, and he looks like he's very fit. He's a big guy. Looks like he's very fit. He's a good-looking guy. I could see why, especially the men in the house, could be very threatened, by him immediately. So I could see him wanting to come in and be like, "Yeah, they called me up a couple of days ago and asked if I wanted to be on the show. I have no idea what I'm doing here." Like, I think he has to kind of do that.
I felt like he was laying it on a little thick, though. I felt like it was a little much. I was like, all right, just cool it, easy. Is it really possible that you would know this little, or else you wouldn't be here at all? Like, you would have at least asked, what is this? You wouldn't, you can't know nothing.
Right.
Like that was my only thing.
Yeah. He was playing it off as if like somebody called him and was like, show up at this address at this time. I'm not going to tell you why.
And then somebody had just standing at the door like,
somebody told you were going on a game show, man. Somebody told you that.
Coming here and doing the come hither fingers. No, I don't know. So that was my only comment on that. So Brenton and Jules are there. They're in the house. And then it was time to vote head of house, really. But I guess because it really did happen rather quickly. The OGs really seemed to take a liking to Jules, kind of flocked to her. Tully and Tim really taking the reins on Jules there. And the Brenton and the newbies kind of just took over Brenton. Whatever.
Although it seems like you can tell the newbies aren't quite as effective, because Jules seemed like pretty quickly like firmly entrenched with the OGs. She brought 3 OGs up to the HOH suite and everything like that, you know. Whereas Brenton, especially when he was actually having a private conversation with Jules at one point, was kind of like, yeah, I'm still trying to figure things out, you know, feel things out. Like where she kind of felt like she knew what side of the house she wanted to be on already.
Right. Well, because they were really very, very good about bringing her on board, and the way that they did that. I think Brenton and Jules are going to be interesting to watch, because even though Jules seems to have aligned herself on the OG side, I think that when push comes to shove, she might have a little bit more loyalty towards Brenton, just because they both came in at the same time. It's going to be interesting to see how that relationship plays out.
Sure.
Yeah, because even just the fact that Brenton and her were having that conversation, he's sharing, I'm not really settled in. Like, why are you even sharing that much to her? Do you really, is that really something you would want her to know, that you're not that settled in to something? Because then it's basically you have no protection.
Right.
He clearly feels safe with her, is really like, you know, my point. So.
And she did open up to him a little bit too, because she even said, she was like, it seems like the deals, the alliances in this house, they're not really very sturdy, let's say. Like they're not always for sure.
Yeah.
So I think they're both a little unsure, and who knows, maybe they didn't know each other at all coming into the house, but they still came in together, which means they do have a connection there.
Oh, absolutely.
That I think is very important. Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, and it's just because, I mean, you're the two people that are now walking into a situation that is already established. So the only thing that you really have is that. And that's why I think it'll be interesting to see how this goes on, especially if the OGs now, if there comes a moment where they want to make a move against Brenton. You know, again, Jules is not that in it, even though she kind of has aligned herself that way. It's not like she's got those roots like the other OGs do. So I wonder how she'll behave in that moment. And it also depends on how many OGs are left. Yeah, there's a lot that could be interesting with that relationship. But Alicia had to give up her head of house. And the house selected Jules.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think it's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting that like the OGs got their way, and Jules picked 3 OGs to go up into the suite. Like it's very funny. But like their position in the house doesn't feel secure in any way. So
no, because I think the OGs are the new Operation Shambles.
It's starting to feel that way.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, that's why I made that the title. Operation Shambles. I think it's a disaster. Things are not going well over there. And it really began with this. Dave wins the nomination challenge. And I'm telling you, this just set off a chain of events that will not soon be forgotten.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
What was this challenge even?
This was, I believe they were standing on a platform, had to pull 2 handles and suspend themselves in the air for as long as they could.
Oh, and holding their own weight on those colored platforms. Is that what this was?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, yes. And Tim and Dave were the last 2 up there. Which is, this felt like the first challenge that the OGs like really had a hold on, because it was Tim, Dave, and JC at one point, and JC just was like, I can't do this. Where I feel like we've seen the newbies dominate a lot of challenges,
right?
But this was all about Dave and Tim. You know, they feel like the Godfather. I mean, Tim really, I think, is like the Godfather of the game here. Like he is the guy. And I don't know how he just gets away with everything, but it was fun to see Tim and Dave up there at the end, kind of like working out a deal.
I would hate to play this game with Tim. As much as I love watching him play the game, I would never want to play it with him. I would feel so uneasy. I would never trust anything. Like, how could you ever feel comfortable with somebody like that? Like,
right. I mean, he has had, I feel like he's really had, so obviously the newbies won him out, or most of the newbies won him out. But even his own side, Estelle had to sit there and listen to how Tim has thrown her name out. Tully, her name has obviously been in Tim's mouth, and Dave's mouth also. It really is wild how Tim, he just comes out totally unscathed every time, it seems like.
Every single time. I do not get it. I don't get it. But so Dave wins, and Dave is of the opinion that he should be spreading it all out. Everybody gets a little. He wants to put up one from one side, one from the OG side, one from the newbie side, and somebody who's playing the middle. And so what does this get us? This gets us Trevor, Alicia, and Gabby up for elimination. I'm really on one tonight. I like how this comes up, by the way. Like color-wise, this looks nicer than the challenge. It looks nicer than the challenge because now you've got the two colors like sandwiching the white,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very nice. Yeah, it's very nice. It's very satisfying. So anyway, so for our audio only friends, check us out on YouTube. Got a fresh new ticker. Looks real good. Silly. So yeah, what did you think of this?
I didn't like it. So I think Tim definitely got into Dave's head because he was like, "Oh, we should put up one person from our side," but it felt like they put up two people from their side.
Yeah, because I feel like Gabby is not really the middle player that you're acting like she is.
Right. I think she has way more often been on the OG side. If she's ever been on, if she, I don't know if she's ever voted with the newbies, to be honest.
No, I think the only reason why she's a newbie is because she's new to the game, but she has not she has not played the game with them. Also, as a quick aside, isn't it fascinating that like these Australians all have like these New York and like American things? Like Gabby is wearing a New York Yankees hat. Like
I love it. I love seeing the Yankee hats.
Listen, I think it's awesome. Like I love my Yankees hats. I have multiple, but I just think it's but I'm from New York.
Right.
I'm also from America. So I just think that that's really, really cool. That's all. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
It's funny because you're right. Like seeing things that you would see here every day on the street. It's funny to see it at a show, all the way on the other side of the world.
Yeah, at first thought, you forget that you're even watching something in another country. You're like, oh, well, whatever, Yankees hat. Yeah, naturally. It's like, well, wait a minute. So I think it's really, really cool. So thanks, Gabs. Assuming as if she's watching. Thank you so much. Love you, girl.
Maybe. Hey, yeah. Gabby's
great. Who knows? Maybe we'll let her know. Maybe we'll let her know we're talking about her. Any Hoosers. Where were we now?
So we were talking about Dave's nominations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he puts up these people. I don't know. I don't know. I get it logically. It just
right.
Yeah, because you're trying to like keep some blood off your hands, but like you gotta come on, man. Come on.
I just feel like it just seemed like maybe go with. I mean, who's really in the middle though? This is my question because Dave wanted to do somebody on his side, somebody on the other side, and somebody in the middle. Gabby, I guess, is considered to be in the middle because even though she's voted with the OGs a lot, she does have a lot of relationships on the other side of the house, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And they always try to talk to her and work with her. But like, I guess Lulu, who also has voted with the OGs, was considered in the middle. Like, who else is even in the middle? I don't even know. Like, is there anybody that's actually in the middle?
I don't know that there is a middle. The problem, this is where Gabby is taking an L, and it's not her fault. She's playing the game with who she wants to play with. It's just that everyone else is saying OG and newbie. Like,
right.
She's only a newbie just only because of the fact she never played this game before. But she's just playing the game, and like that's just who she's aligned with. It's really unfortunate that now like that. Although it does put her in like it does put her in an interesting power situation because she's always the one that people are scrambling at, and no one's really talking about getting rid of her. Like even though this middle playing is what got her nominated. She wasn't actually in any danger. No one was actually talking about Gabby. The people that they were talking about were Trevor and Alicia. So, like, I don't know. Like, it feels a little unfair that she's being improperly categorized.
Yeah.
But it might actually be helping her in a way.
It could be. I'm liking Gabby. I know, it's so good. It's such a good game.
Fun to talk about. Oh my god. Oh god, I just love it so much. So anyway.
It's a great game. It's a great game.
I just love it. So sorry. I'm so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
I don't know. Just as I talk myself through that, it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm just having the best time.
It's so. Well, this is why we're here. This is why we're here at 11 o'clock at night on a work night, because we love this freaking show. We're not even just talking about our version in the U.S. We're talking about a version in a place that we've never even been to.
I know. Who pay extra for a VPN so I can watch it on my iPad.
We love you, Big Brother Australia.
Gosh,
we love you.
We love you. Okay, so anyway.
But anyway, we're live.
I know. So what were you saying before that?
I have no idea.
Damn it all to hell. It doesn't matter. There's so much more to talk about.
We were talking about nominations. I guess we would talk about this vote. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this nonsense got Trevor evicted.
Yeah.
It's a sucky way to go out, but I think it's good for everyone that he did. I do think this was the best game move. I will say that Alicia has been referred to now as the mob boss more than once.
I've seen this.
And I will say that I agree. She's scary. She's scary because she is very good at rallying the troops. She is a threat. She's not one to be overlooked. However, Trevor, I don't know that you would have found another situation where somebody would have put him up. I think the newbies would have been a little bit too scared because it seems like he's very highly revered in Australia.
Yes, I saw a few of the the housemates posting on Twitter and stuff about how hard it was for everybody when Trevor left, because Trevor just made everybody feel so comfortable and so safe. And I'm sure that that's something, especially being in that house where you, even the people that you think you trust, you never really feel like you can trust. I feel like having somebody like Trevor in there is probably really great to have around. Yeah. And I felt so bad for Dave when he found out that Trevor had never been even nominated in that house.
He's the one who did it.
And Dave's the one that did it. And Trevor went home on his nomination. And because I love Dave. I haven't agreed with everything he's done. I haven't been thrilled with all the decisions he's made, but you can tell Dave's got a good heart and he tries to do the right thing. And
he does. He does try.
Yeah.
And you're right. I agree with all that. I agree with all that. Yeah. That it was a painful watch. It truly was, especially for people. Again, just to even double down on what we just said. We don't know these people. These are not our OGs. But this was still a tough watch. Yeah.
Yeah, the way that he was talking to Reggie after the eviction, just saying like, the guy that I respected the most in here has gone home because of what I've done. Like, just the way he said it to Reggie, oh my God, it broke my heart. It absolutely broke my heart. But
you are bringing something else to my mind here, though. Just like Trevor, we were saying how I'm not so sure that somebody else would have had the balls to put Trevor up. I think Reggie is going to have a similar situation here. Who in the world is going to put Reggie up?
Right.
Who?
Right. Alicia. I think she's cold-blooded enough. She's got the ice in her veins. But that's the only one. That's the only one.
Wow, that is so true. Where is my girl? We gotta flash her picture of the mob boss. I gotta find her. Oh, I gotta put these people in alphabetical. There she is. There she is. She can't do chickens, but she.
Oh yes, that's right. I do like Alicia.
Oh, I don't like Alicia. I love Alicia. Okay. I think she is like the bee's knees.
I'm
I
honestly
adore her.
I'm really glad that Joel is gone, because I don't know that we would have gotten this from her if Joel was still there.
Wow. I didn't think about that at all. I completely agree.
Yeah.
This version of Alicia came out when Joel left. You know,
Yep.
Joel really stifled her. You know, what's so fun about that is that, like, I hate Sam. I hate her. Okay. I think she sucks. But now, like, I wonder, like, if Drew wasn't there, do you think maybe we would get like we'd probably get a different Sam?
I think it's definitely possible. The one thing that I will say is that I think that Alicia. So here's the thing: I think Joel definitely stifled Alicia's game, but Alicia was already kind of showing ambition, I think, before he left, because she was vocal about how she wanted to be HOH. And Joel, I think, sort of helped her secure that by having conversations with people around the house. So when he left the house, she had power. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of put her in a position where, like, she probably felt very empowered to like, now, all right, my number one was just taken from me and sent out of this game. I've got a little bit of power in this game. Here's where I'm going to step up and start making moves. And I feel like the way that it all, like, I think that Alicia would be like a power player in the game anyway after Joel left. But like the way things unfolded, it was like her game was really
the perfect
like
storm.
Right. It was her game was very weakened in some situations. I feel like other people that were maybe feeling like they were at the bottom and then their number one gets taken out, they might sort of just kind of give up in their own head. But I feel like Alicia had like a fire lit underneath her because her number one just got sent out. Hey, listen, I'm the head of house. I'm going to run things right now.
You know what's so interesting about that too? That's interesting. Because I agree with everything you said there. And like, she came into her own because she was at the highest she could be and the lowest she could be, right? She lost her number one, but she was in the most power. That's something that we don't get in our version of this game. If you're HOH, you can't possibly also simultaneously be taking a hit.
Right.
That's such an interesting thing. And that did really, it was like the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
What an interesting thing. What a beautiful thing. Thank you, Australia. Again.
I'm very excited. It's so interesting because I'm finding myself, there's one side of the house and it's the OG side that I'm like, that's the side that I'm rooting for. But there are definitely people on either side that I really like and want to see do well in the game, which I feel like does not happen usually in our BB US. Usually I love one side of the house and I hate the other side. Meanwhile, I think we're probably both, I think, unless I'm speaking out of turn here, let me know. I think we're both probably rooting for the OGs, right? Overall. But like, I love Taras. I love Alicia. Like, there's so many newbies that I love.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not rooting for anyone or anything. I have not really settled on a person. Yeah, I can't say that I am. I've been enjoying the antics on the OG side. I think we have fun characters on that side. Like, Tim is very fun to watch. Tim makes me laugh every episode. Dave usually makes me laugh. I find them entertaining. And I think that's also because they've done this before. You know, they're a little bit more seasoned with just being entertaining. But the OGs, like, I've always liked Johnson. I just don't always like everything that comes out of his mouth, but I like how he's playing the game.
Yeah, I like Johnson. I enjoyed the awkwardness between him and Estelle too, because of that dream.
But
very fun.
What I enjoyed about that too, though, is that like Estelle was not weirded out by it at all, and you can tell like she enjoyed making him uncomfortable, which is a dynamic we don't often get to see here in America.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, usually we see these men in a very predatory situation. It's not fun. So seeing this, her like being really playful around something that could have been uncomfortable. It was very refreshing, and it made me appreciate her at a different level. Yeah, I really, really like Estelle. Like that was such a cool way to handle that. That was really, really fun. I don't know, and I think that's also why it's a weird thing to even try to root for one side or another, because I thought that was I don't know, the entire exchange was very refreshing to me. Because even when he was saying that yes, he had whatever little dream he had or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, it's because I keep nominating you, and it's because I keep voting for you."
Yes. And I loved that the 3 shirt thing. What Estelle was like, Johnson. I hope you can contain yourself.
Yeah, it's just really fun to see them having fun with that. Which is something that should have been embarrassing for him, possibly, or whatever. It was just very refreshing.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
So yeah, props to Estelle. Good sport Johnson.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's good people in this house, and this week in particular, I've liked Estelle the whole time, but this week in particular, I really started to love Estelle.
Yeah,
I tweeted about this, and I am honored that Miss Estelle retweeted it and liked it. My goodness,
I can't believe it.
Right? Like, she tries so hard in every competition. She always gives it 100%. She seems like such a nice, caring, genuine person. I love Estelle.
It does bring me to, I am so curious now, though. I want to see their original seasons.
Yes.
And I wonder how we can go back and find them. Because they're not all on this channel 7. So we'd have to, maybe one of our Australian friends can help us. We'll start tweeting about it. Let's get it out there. We want to watch. We want to know. I want to see Tim's season. I want to see everything that went down with Tim, Tully, and Drew. I'm very curious.
Yes.
We know that Estelle spent a lot of time on the block. From what we've heard, from what she said here. Yeah, I'd love to see that journey. All of that. I'm very intrigued. Very, very intrigued.
You know what I want to see too is Tim's BB Canada season.
Yeah, that was BB Can 4. We'll have to discuss that for the off season. Maybe that's something we can look at for BB after BB 24. If they're not going to do BB UK, did I say BB too many times?
No, you said BB UK. That was good. You were good.
Okay.
I think there was actually a BB UK player on that Big Brother Canada season that Tim was on also. I think they brought 2. I think they brought 2. Yeah. I was reading about it recently. I'm pretty sure they brought Tim in and 1 BB UK player. Why don't we do stuff like that? Why doesn't the US? Why do we suck at all of our own shows?
Because we're terrible. Oh my God.
What?
We can't say anything yet, but look at the email we just got.
Oh,
I'm nauseous. I'm just reading it in previews. I know. I'm just reading it in previews. Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Oh my God!
Sorry, I feel nauseous. I feel nauseous. We can announce it later. We'll announce it later. It's very fun.
Okay, all right. Oh my God.
All right, but first, we.
Oh my God, that was huge.
My stomach is in knots. But first, we need to surmise Sonia's style. Okay.
Yes.
We need to surmise Sonia's style. Now, it's Sonia's fault for her not giving us as professional a shot as we got last week. So this is what we got last week. Okay. So this is shout out to Sonia's social media team for doing this. This is something that Julie Chen does for us. However, we didn't get that this week. This week we got a reel. And I'm sure that some people think that that's cuter. I am not some people.
The way you said that. I am not some people.
Okay, I don't want this busted screenshot. All right, my queen should look better. All right, I mean she looks great, but I want a quality shot like this.
Oh,
I don't want this motion screenshot that I hopefully get the best angle, but it affects it 0. I'm still giving it a hot.
I totally give it a hot. She looks fantastic.
She is out of this world.
Yeah.
She's out of this world. And she's wearing purple. She's wearing pink. She's wearing everything I want. My goodness gracious.
We stand Sonya.
Yeah, sure. We do. We stand Sonya.
Yeah. She's a queen.
Yeah. So thank you. So two hots for Sonya style. We thank you. And that's that. All right. So now we're moving into the next eviction cycle. I like that we have Sonya style that we put in between to separate things, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Give us a fresh start. So these house nominees, this got interesting. And this all really kicked off because of this conversation between Dave and Tim.
Yes.
Yeah, this conversation was messy.
It was very messy.
Tim is really who really spoon-fed Dave with the idea of nominating Tully.
Yep.
You know, and then Dave took the bait, and then Tim basically made it sound like, you know, it was all his idea.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now, yeah. I will not say that Tim was not the aggressor, though. He wasn't pushing that.
Right.
But
Tim presented it. Dave took the bait and then the blame. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like
he really did. And like he did. He
this is why Tim,
this whole thing.
Yeah. And I honestly just felt terrible for him because you could see it was actually affecting him. And this is why Tim is so good. Because he can be the one that comes up with an idea and then literally make someone believe that it's their idea so firmly that they blame themselves for something that they didn't even come up with.
Yes. And I was sitting here and I was like, is Tim really going to keep... We better get a clip of him telling us that he knows that he was really part of this, that he was really this. You know what I mean? Like, if we don't get that, I'm going to be a little like annoyed. But we did get that. We did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fine. Whatever. Yeah.
It's just so impressive. I just don't know how Tim, like, he got called out in front of the whole house in that cage. Multiple people calling him out, saying this and that, and he's still fine. Everything's fine. It's amazing. He's amazing. He was annoying me this week because he had people that I like. You know, he had their names in his mouth, like Tully and all that, but like, you just can't help but be impressed by it. Like, it's amazing.
It is incredible. It is truly incredible. But with that, you know, obviously all this spread like wildfire. Tully was basically asking, you know, what names have we heard? And Reggie stepped right up and said, hey, I've heard your name. And I was like, you know what? Good Reggie, because it was also like it's such an interesting dilemma and a conversation I definitely want to get into more, obviously. You know what I mean? Because like these relationships with these OGs is making them play this game differently. I think that if Reggie was having this conversation with a stranger, like never mind like an OGs, newbies, anything, just a regular season where everyone's stranger, she wouldn't have said that.
Right.
It's because like I know you outside of here and like I can't do this. Like this isn't, you know, it doesn't feel right.
Right.
It's such an interesting way that this game has to now be played differently on that side, which is why I think we're seeing so much from the OGs because they're the ones that have the most drama.
Right. And like even the fact that you just said that, right? Like Reggie might not have mentioned that in a regular season, but because these OGs have a relationship outside of the house, like you feel the need to say that. But like, what's crazy about it is that the OGs themselves were the ones that were throwing out Tully's. You know what I mean? Like Reggie is attached to all these people, the people that were throwing out Tully's name, the people whose name
for Reggie to be in.
Right.
Awful.
It's
like,
just,
what was she supposed? I think she did the right thing. I think she did the best thing she could, like personally, and then game wise.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Which I hate to say it, kind of brings me now back to my other point of where like you got to be careful with Reggie. she's got to go. And I don't like saying that, but like, because I really like her. I like her. She's really
love
fun.
Reggie.
She's a lovely woman. But like, she's gonna win. She's gonna win.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. So like, we don't actually want Reggie to go, but like, if anybody else hopes to win the game, you've got to get rid of Reggie.
Right.
So.
If I was in the house, I'd be like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. She's the problem. Because if she gets because you also have to remember it's Australia that's voting.
Right.
They're gonna vote her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I if it's Tim, let's just say it's Tim, Reggie, Dave. I don't see any. Honestly, it doesn't matter. We can go down the gauntlet of every possible trio. If Reggie is a part of it, I don't see her losing.
My vote would certainly go to Reggie.
Yeah, just because I love her.
3 in the end. Yeah.
She's just such a lovely woman. Like, you just want to give her. You just want to vote for her. Yeah, you just want to vote for her.
She's just such a wonderful person.
I know. Which
she really is.
Yeah, that's why she's never going to go on the block. Which is why she's just going to coast her own way through. So I don't know. Like, she's a problem. But anyway, this whole thing now with Dave and Tim is essentially what caused this with the House nominees. We had Dave, Sam, and Lulu nominated by the House. And Tim put a point on Dave.
Yeah.
Which
I didn't like this at all.
I didn't like it either.
Because it's like, listen, here's the thing. Here's what bugs me about it. All right, if you want to go around the house, Tim, and kind of save your own, save yourself, save your own game, and say, oh, me and Dave got caught. We were talking about Tully, and I don't want to take the blame, so I'm gonna stick, to my guns. I'm gonna say that Dave did it. I'm gonna put a, point, but like, you privately make this choice to vote for Dave, even though you know that you had a bigger hand or an equally big hand in the drama that ensued. You know what I mean? Like, you say what you want publicly, but in private, you don't have to lie about what's going on in private.
Right. Don't let us.
Yeah. Like, we watched it all.
We know. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Okay, now we're getting into something else now, because we got to start talking about Sam.
Oh, believe me, I'm dying to talk about Sam.
Okay, where's her face? I swear I'm gonna get these in alphabetical order. Because I just hover over each one because I don't remember what they're wearing. All right, so here we are. So Miss Sam. All right. The breakfast was cute. Cute. Past that, she's so upset that Tim is doing all of these things, like working against her, but like, he's just playing the game. Like,
right.
She's like, we're just playing Tim's game. Well, that's the point of the game. Like, I want you to play my game. That's how I win. Like,
right. And you should be trying to get me to play your game.
Exactly. So like, if it's not working for you, then do something. Don't walk around acting like what he's doing. Like, I can't believe he's campaigning against me. It's just wrong. It's not wrong. It's the game. Like,
this whole thing killed me, because every time Sam gets nominated, immediately it's, who voted for me? Why did you vote for me? It's like, do you know where you are, Sam? Do you know that you're playing a game for a lot of money and everybody's trying to win it?
And everybody at some point is going to be voted for.
Right. And like, the way that she even said, like, she was going like, she was like, oh, I'm going to try to blow Tim's game up. And she was like, oh, like, Tim, you're campaigning so hard against me, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand why we're just playing Tim's game. He's campaigning against me. It's like, Alicia was campaigning for you last week. You didn't have a problem with that. When Estelle walked up to the group outside and nobody would speak to her, literally no one would even say a word to her. It was super awkward. Mm-hmm. She did not deserve that. Estelle walks up to them. Nobody will speak to her, so she walks away. And now Sam is all upset because, like, because Tim's campaigning against her. Like, of course Tim is. Like, of course. Like, what do you think? Like, I don't understand. Like, what is you're playing a game for $250,000. Like, get your head in the game. People are gonna vote for you.
Exactly. I don't. She's so frustrating. This is who I was talking about during the challenge. I was like, somebody else who was annoying me. And I was like, I feel like I have to talk about them. It's like, oh, it was Sam. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Sam. Yeah, and it's a shame because like I've liked her up until like now. I really felt for her. That whole Joss situation, I thought that was very messy, very uncomfortable.
I agree.
I thought she was dealt a bad hand with Tully coming in the house. As much as we love Tully, I can't imagine being Sam. My stomach would drop, especially if like I'm sure she watched the season that they were on. You know, can you imagine the knot in your stomach when you see her walk in? I mean, like, my God. I felt for her, you know, but this, every time she's nominated, she acts like she shouldn't be. And I get that you're upset that you are, but don't act like it's not an injustice has not been performed upon you. Like it's the game. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, she should have been expecting, I think, to be nominated. You got evicted from the house. The house voted you out. Like, you think you're just gonna come back in and nobody's gonna want to see you go?
It's like, just all forgotten.
Yeah, like I don't understand.
Yeah, right.
Like you literally, the house decided to send you home, and you got to just pull a little string and say, no, never mind, it didn't happen. like of course your name's gonna be out there again. Of course
it is. Of course it is. Can I tell you though?
What?
She was the #1 person I was rooting for in the Second Chance Challenge.
Yeah?
I was rooting for her. I love Lulu. I love Lulu, but like,
yeah.
It's probably the edit's fault, but like, other than the voting drama, she wasn't adding like much. Like we didn't see her. The only time we ever saw her was when it was time to get her vote, and what that conversation looked like. She got no airtime.
I did really enjoy her and Tim trying to put up that tent in the dark in the panic room.
That was the most we got to see of Lulu, and that also kind of told me that this might be some foreshadowing. You know, like this now finally.
Tim he just cracked over that can and then he just laid down. She was just screaming. I love that I love Lulu. I love it. I love her. I like the fact that she was screaming, I don't want to die out here in the wild. Yes. It's like you're in the room in the Big Brother house. Like everything's fine. But like, she kept screaming it and I just thought it was so funny.
But this is what I mean though. Like, so all right. I'm happy that you brought that up because I enjoyed Lulu very much in this moment as well. And when Jules selected Lulu and Tim to do this panic room thing, I think it was I don't know who it was. Somebody had made a comment like, "Oh, they don't even know what they did. Like Lulu is not going to be able to handle this. Lulu can't handle this." And it's like whatever they're referring to is a side of her personality we didn't get to see. Because I didn't even know what you were talking about. Why couldn't Lulu handle it? Like, I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know Lulu to be a jittery person, you know, and be jumpy like that. And that's unfortunate. Because even that moment could have been more fun. I don't know. That's all. I think she got robbed on the edit. That's all. I would have just liked to see a little bit more Lulu.
Yeah.
And we definitely will not get to. Dave won the Second Chance Challenge. To be expected, sadly.
Yeah. I was happy for him. That's got to be scary. That whole thing with his injury and everything, jumping out of the plane, and then now you got to jump off of this platform. And
what do you think of these things? What do you think of all this, by the way?
What's that?
I'm starting to think that some of these international versions of these shows are almost a little meaner than ours.
Yeah.
Like ours is cheesy and nice in a way, in comparison. Like when I think the BB Can won, and we made Farmer Boy drink all that milk until he threw up. Not nice. You know that these 3 people have a fear of heights, one rooted in this parachuting accident. So now they're all up there. So let's put them in the sky and make them jump down. Like, it just seems a little mean. Like, so like the whole chicken thing with Alicia, like it was one thing to have the chickens feeding off of her, but now you just also unleash them in the bedroom too.
Right.
Like,
right,
you're just
right.
being mean for no reason. Like, leave these people alone. They're having a hard enough time being removed from their family and playing this game with a bunch of strangers. Now they also have to deal with like chickens on the run and being put and then they're being put in the sky and they have to jump down. Like, it's just
right.
They're being put through a lot. You know,
no, it's true.
Especially
it's true.
Sam. She's got to overcome this fear of heights while she walks in. Sam has the worst story in this house.
Oh, she's had a really rough season. And
I'm actually going to start coming back on the other side of now, rooting more for Sam. Okay. Yeah. Because she's had a rough go. She walks in and sees this guy she doesn't want anything to do with, and he's mad intense with her, wants to basically wants her to birth his children. He didn't say it, but you can tell it in his eyes.
Oh yeah.
Total weirdo.
Oh yeah.
Then she finds Drew and everything seems fine. Now here comes Telly, and it's like, oh my goodness gracious. Now she keeps being thrown up on the block, thrown on the block. Then she finally gets evicted. Oh, she gets to come back in, but she gets right back on the block. Now they put her in the sky. I mean, she's just this poor girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she still loses the challenge.
She's had a rough season, but
she has.
I don't know. She's still annoying me.
Ooh.
Well, because you know what? In a way, like she's still there. You know what I mean? She's gotten a second chance, a second life in the game. She's gotten a few bones thrown her way. She has a relationship with Drew. I mean, like, you know, she came in with this guy that was like, you know, and Tully's been very good about it. Tully voted to keep Sam. You know, so like,
I gotta say, Tully is such a fucking stand-up queen.
Oh, absolutely.
They're always trying to rip on her. I know.
All season.
I know.
All season, she's been getting pulled in different directions. She's been having, you know, forced to make these decisions, guilted. Do I vote this way? Do I vote that way? And I feel like she's just handled it all very, very well. And it's got to be hard. It's got to be very hard.
And I didn't expect to like her.
Yeah.
Well, the way that they brought her in, I definitely thought she was going to get that villain edit. You know, that we usually
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, like here comes Tully to shake shit up. Meanwhile, she comes in and she's like, hey guys, let's play a game.
Right.
And it's like, oh, no. And at first I was like, lame. And then I was like, oh, no, actually you're cool. I was like, oh, I thought you were coming in here as the agitator. I thought you were coming in as a Rachel Riley.
Right.
You know, I'm like, oh, now I'm disappointed. It's like, no, actually, I'm endeared.
Yeah.
Oh, P.S. That little party that they had, and the chairs were outside in the rain.
Oh, yeah.
John, yes. I rewound that moment with her. It's like 38 times. She's like, the chairs, bring the chairs in.
The chairs are wet.
He's like, the chairs.
That was fantastic. I loved that. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because that stood out to me also.
Because, like, it was, oh my God, there was a moment in her face, like when she was young, when she first started yelling about the chairs, she was like kind of calm. And then because no one seemed to like echo her sentiments around it, like no one else matched her anger and like astonishment that this was even going on. Like you can see something click and she just screamed and she's like, like, you guys must not be understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying the chairs were the right.
Yes.
That's how many times I rewound it. Like when you look at her face, it's also like she thinks it's ridiculous that Big Brother's even doing this to them in the first place, and she thinks it's even more ridiculous that no one is as outraged as her. Like,
it's like these are our chairs.
Like, come on.
I actually talking about Tully made me remember. Because remember before I was saying something, I wanted to bring something about Jules that I really liked. So Jules came in the house. Tully was one of the people she picked to go into the HOH suite with her, and then Jules, one of the very first things that she does in that house nomination challenge, the one with the you know the handles on the platforms, she chose Drew to have to be the one to sit out of the competition. I was like, all right, I love Jules. She's already become friends with Queen Tully. Yes. She makes Drew sit out of the competition. I was like, this is fantastic. And I saw on Twitter, like, Tully was like, I'm pretty sure that was just the edit. But like when Jules says like, oh yeah, I want Drew to sit out, they just go to like Tully's face and she's just like, oh, I loved it so much.
Yeah, and what makes me love it more, because like usually I don't like when people are getting an edit that is actually not representative of what is actually going on. Like, but this was really, really fun because it's so obviously not what's going on. It didn't feel like a misrepresentation because she's been so good to him. So like this really felt good to laugh at. Like you didn't feel guilty. Like it was supposed to be funny. Yeah. And you can tell even by the way she tweeted about it, like she thought it was funny too.
Yes.
You know, it was refreshing. This version, I have to say, just the way that it's edited, this version of the show, it's just, no one really looks bad, in my opinion.
I agree.
Unless it's their own fault. I mean, Sam looks a little bad, but I don't think you can do anything with the edit to fix that.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad. You know.
Yeah, that whole conversation with Gabby too that Sam had. Oh my god. Oh, are you acting like this because you have a crush on Drew and this? Oh my god, like you're trying to get this person's vote to stay.
Yeah,
like,
but she's. I mean, all right, but she is a little emotional. Again, she has had a rough go, so she's a little defensive. And she did take it back. She said, I'm sorry. Because that was wrong. And she did it in the moment. It's not like she had to go back up. So
yeah. I don't know if Gabby accepted though.
I'm not sure Gabby accepted either. I'm not sure that I would accept if I were Gabby, but from the outside looking in, like at least her behavior was corrected promptly.
Yeah. I agree.
You know, so yeah, we'll give her that. And thank goodness, because she's not the one who went home this week, is she? Bless you.
Thank you.
It was Lulu. We lost Lulu. What did you think about this Tim and Lulu relationship? Do you think it's genuine? What did you think that was?
I think that Tim was trying to just use that for his benefit. Like even when Sam called him out in that like eviction speech, being like, you tease Lulu all the time and this and that. And he was like, well, me and Lulu actually have a really great relationship and this and that. It kind of felt like it was like, all right, this relationship is for the benefit of you in this game. And as long as you can make it last, that's kind of how I felt in that moment.
It is. I agree. In that moment, I felt that too. And I wonder if that was also part of the way that this thing was edited, you know, because
totally true, yeah.
There was something about the way Lulu smiled even when Tim said all of that seems very, very genuine, like from her. Simply because it's genuine from her doesn't mean it was genuine from him. But I mean, he has really been good to her otherwise. Even if he does tease her and everything, he has not actually put her in harm's way. Not that I remember. I don't think he's ever voted for her, voted against her in any way. I don't know. And I just wonder.
Did we see any of that teasing really? I don't remember.
No, but again, Lulu was edited so poorly. That's what I mean. Like I don't know how real that relationship was with Tim. Like there's a lot of teasing. I tease you a lot. It doesn't mean that I don't like you. I mean, you know, like teasing doesn't necessarily mean.
I hope you like me. You know.
It's 11:28 p.m. And I'm sitting in my mom's place in North Carolina. I traveled with multiple laptops and a microphone. So I can sit in the middle of the night and talk to only you. And just hope that other people come.
Yeah.
All because
fair enough.
I can't stand you.
Fair enough.
Stupid. Yeah, so that's that. Now, actually, what ended up happening, I did not get to see the end of this episode. The 7+ site did that fun thing where, like, you know, sometimes where it lags on the commercial and then it just never plays. Does that happen to you?
Yes.
Yeah, that happened to me on the last commercial break. And then it was really time to go live for challenge. So I didn't actually see how this ended. So I did not see any previews for next week. So can you tell us what we're looking forward to so I can know what I'm excited about?
I think we have some things to be very excited about.
Do we?
I think so. It looks like, so it seems like we have a theme every week, right? Party week, stuff like that. It looks like this week coming up will be some kind of hacker type thing. Big Brother gets hacked. So there's someone else in control of Big Brother's house. And they actually say, like, that big screen, where you see the eye where Big Brother's talking to them, it actually comes up and says, this is not Big Brother, with like the eye, like with a cross through it, like a no smoking sign, that type of thing. And it looks like they like things like they were showing the house guests going around, like in the kitchen, somebody tried to turn the sink on and the water wouldn't come out and stuff like that. So like this not Big Brother is in control of the house and probably making the house guests do all sorts of crazy things. There is also this, I think I'm more excited for.
But hold on, as just as a quick PS, just for what you just said there, that's so funny because we were just talking about BB20 with Slim, and we had that BB hacker comp there, and where people were in control of things. Yeah, that's all. I just want to just draw a parallel. I just think it's so funny. We were just talking about that on Monday.
That's right.
And now we've got a hacker thing coming up. Yeah, that's exciting. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think I'm even more excited about, because we saw the deal, right, between Drew and Joel. We saw that.
Oh yeah.
Right, about the girlfriends.
Yes.
About the girlfriends.
Oh my gosh, that's something else I wanted to talk about. But go ahead. Yeah.
So Drew got called out, right, in the cage. He was able to cover it up with Sam. There was a clip of Alicia and Tim sitting next to each other. This BB hacker thing. They're sitting next to each other on a couch. There's a suitcase next to them. Alicia opens it up, and there's a laptop there. And it shows footage. We know that they see footage of this moment because they actually talk about it in this little, next on segment. They see the footage of when Drew and Joel actually had the conversation about getting each other's girlfriends out. And you can actually see Tim say, like, oh my God, they made this deal and then Drew lied about it. Like, they actually say that. So like, it looks like Drew's about to get exposed, but who knows? Like, they might have done some editing magic. Maybe it won't be as dramatic as I think, but from what I saw in that, right. You should go definitely check it out after we get off, because from everything it looks like Drew is about to get exposed big time. So, yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds really great. So awesome things to look forward to. Good.
So curious to know that, like, if Drew and Sam's relationship were to end in the house, like, would Drew scurry back to the OGs? I'm so like, what would he do in that situation? Like, has he formed enough trust with other newbies that he could still work with them, or is like Sam is really only
possibly? If this thing comes out, there is no newbie that's going to be trusting him at that point. Like, would you? Like that? It's over now.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's totally over. Wow. Okay.
So,
yeah, we got a lot.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah, I will. I will. And I'm also going to look at who voted for who. I would like to see that as well.
Me too. I should check that out. Yeah.
I want to see that split. I wish they just showed us on the show. That's the only that I do have a complaint about that. If I have a complaint, it's that. Just show us. Stop playing games. Why do I have to go on the website? Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Survivor. Just show us during the credits or something. Like, I mean, Survivor does that. I don't have to see it in the moment, but I'll hang out. I'll hang out for a few more minutes. but let me see it. Don't make me have to click all these other things. That's all. Boo.
Yeah.
But at least they're there.
True.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
Yeah.
Listen, it's 11:33.
It is.
Yeah, it's getting late. I had a great time.
I have had a fantastic time this evening.
Yeah, it's been really fun. And we got to talk about that email.
Yes.
So with that, listen. So what do we have coming up this week? For those of us who care, Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay. All right. For our Australian friends, we're watching RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 7. Okay. And we're covering that with our friend James. Then what we have next Thursday, Challenge All Stars 3 at 9:30 p.m. EDT. right before this guy, and then we're back here for Australia. All right.
Yes.
Lots of exciting things to come. Thank you so much. Find us in the socials at BB Jury Duty. I'm Kyle Petty. This is John Dunphy. Gina will be back at some point again. She has better things to do, but she'll be back soon. We miss her. All right.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Any closing thoughts here?
I just can't wait for next week. For all these shows, we're watching so much good stuff right now, and I think Big Brother Australia is Big Brother Australia right now. I'm completely just like enthralled with. I can't wait to see what happens
Big
next.
Brother is really the moneymaker. That's really why we're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's everything. But thank you so much. We're outies. Good night.